And then I was sitting in a meeting like a few days after that. I was going to get my 30-day tag. And I listened. I was really listening to somebody share, and they mentioned about alcohol, and it just clicked for me like, I'm not even meant to drink. And I have drank. And so when it came, like my face just dropped, and like my friends that were in that meeting with me that night, to this day still say like you could just see that something had dropped for me. And I was devastated, absolutely devastated. But when I got asked to share, I said, I owned it then and there. Like there was nothing in me that was like, I'm going to hide this. There's no way I'm resetting my clean time. I owned it. I moved on. Haven't touched a drop of alcohol. Haven't touched a substance since.
I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners on the land on which we meet and record on, the Darug people of the Eora Nation. I pay my respects to the elders, past and present. Welcome everybody to A Colourful Past Podcast. I am your host, Danny Shannon, where every story told proves that your past does not define your future. Let's go. Okay, guys, welcome back to another episode of A Colourful Past Podcast. I'm super excited to be here today with my friend, my absolute legend mate, Stacy Nicole. Hello, Stacy.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
Stacy just celebrated 2 years abstinence, 2 years recovery, 2 years and 10 days, is it?
2 years and 10 days.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Stacey. And you're a very experienced podcaster. You've done a bunch of these before?
No.
No?
This is my first one.
Oh, wow.
Ever.
But you know.
Glad it's with you.
Oh, bless. Oh, we're going to get into that too. I know you've been a big supporter of mine actually for some time too, and I love that you just said that.
And likewise.
Yeah, I am a big supporter of you. Absolutely. Stacey has an incredible story. Mind you, if I get teary, I do that. I'm just giving you some warning. Have you seen me cry? I cry a lot.
I've heard you cry.
Have you? Yeah.
No, I have seen you cry.
Yeah, I don't know why I do that.
Crying.
God. What's wrong with me? But you know what
my
it is?
My mum messaged you.
Yeah.
When my mum sent you a message to thank you for everything you've done for me. And you cried.
Yeah.
We're having a crying day, I think.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Like, it's so powerful, the effect that we can have on other human beings and family members especially, you know, because your mum was proud to know that you were doing okay.
Yeah.
So cool. Guys, Stacey, all right, so we're going to go back, tell a little bit about your story. I know you've got a crazy, wild story. Actually, there's one thing in particular I can't wait to explore. Would you like to, where do you want to kick it off? Tell me about, go back. Tell me, what was it like growing up?
Great. I came from a good family, a really good family. There was not really any dramas growing up. Like I had mum and dad at home, you know, the working class parents. My dad was a muso. Mum had a 9 to 5. I can't really fault my childhood.
What's your dad's name?
Sam.
What's your mum's name?
Kathy.
Sam and Kathy. I always like to acknowledge people, you know, for some reason it's one of the things that I do. I love that you come from this great childhood. I love that we're already talking about that. I identify with that too, you know. I have a beautiful, loving mum who taught me all my values and morals, and my dad was Shonky, they called him. But what I love is that you have a good childhood, yet your story is quite wild as well. People are thinking right now, oh, she's a little saint. She's an angel. She's an angel for sure. Look at her.
Definitely not an angel.
Yeah. Okay, so first thing, I love that you identify having a good childhood.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's through no fault of my parents, the way that my life went at all.
Where did you grow up?
Dubbo. 2830.
Is that where the Western Plains Zoo is?
Yeah.
Fucking zoo. They heard Dubbo. He's a bit of a zoo.
Yeah. That's why I'm a bit of an animal.
Yeah. You are an animal. Okay. So, all right. So, good childhood. So, growing up as a kid, you remember it being a beautiful childhood.
Yeah, great childhood. My dad was into the rodeo scene, and he was also a musician, a country music musician, and know we traveled to go to rodeos. We had horses and, I grew up singing with my dad. I grew up from like as early as I can remember. I had a microphone in my hand singing with my dad. Like the whole dad side of the family, from my grandma through all the aunties and the girl cousins, we all have this like ability to be able to sing and just this like musical ability. And a lot of memories with like jam outs with the family and
I about 6 months ago, maybe it was long ago, I witnessed you singing Liar up on stage. That was
yeah.
Do you want to
Jelly Roll?
You should give us a song. Do you want to sing? Can you sing? Is it?
You really want me to?
Yeah, go on, sing. Because you do have a beautiful voice, Stacey. You do. You don't have to sing, but
I mean,
you should. Why not? You got a mic. You just said whenever there's a mic in front of you, like to sing. Yeah, give us that. What do you want to sing for us?
Oh my goodness gracious me.
I love this.
Oh my God, I can't even think of
Are
one.
you nervous now? Do you feel no?
No. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
A little bit.
What's your favorite? All right, hang on. We're going to talk about your dad soon too, and I know you've referred to. What was your dad's favorite song? What was the song you loved?
Oh, honestly, I don't know. I think my dad used to sing me "Taking It Easy." You know that song? Well, I was running down the road trying to loosen my load. I got 7 women on my mind. Yeah, he used to sing me that song.
It's beautiful.
I don't know why he sang me that song.
Yeah.
The lyrics are weird, but yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those
So
things.
many songs.
Yeah.
I don't have a favorite song. I just love music.
Sing us another one that Dad used to sing.
Oh, goodness gracious. You're putting me on the spot. I don't know.
Oh, do Liar.
Okay. I might move this microphone back a little bit.
Okay,
Might be a bit.
It's yours.
Okay. And I love this song, Liar, by Jelly Roll,
Why?
because I feel like I feel like he's singing about the disease of addiction, because it is a liar. It'll tell you all these things to convince you to like pick up, or that you can't do it without it.
The monkey on your back.
On your back, right? That's why I love that song. Anyways, okay, let's do it. Okay, I can do it. You ain't nothing but a liar. Yeah, I walked right out the fire. Yeah, you try to keep me down, try to put me underground, but I'm only going higher.
Wow.
Let's leave it there.
Wow, it's so beautiful. Music, I've never been someone who really listens to, I mean, I always listen to music, but I've never kind of understood that connection that you obviously have with music. But when I hear, or if I watch a reality show when people are singing, it always makes me feel so good.
Like goosebumps, right?
Yeah,
When you hear a good tune.
It gives me goosebumps hearing you do that, sing that. Oh, good. Okay, what happened? What happened in childhood? Talk to me.
So I would have been around 15.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little bit rebellious, like Mum and Dad were really strict. My dad was so strict. And I was starting to get a little bit rebellious. I was hanging around, you could say undesirables.
Yep. Excuse me. Yep.
Wanted to wag school. I wanted to be the class clown and yeah, gosh, I wish I could go back and change those kind of things. But and I ran away from home a couple of times. My dad had
Your dad was very strict.
Very strict. Yeah. He was really, really strict. Maybe too strict, and I rebelled. I got kicked out of multiple high schools. The good friends that I had, they kind of, I would have been the one that their parents were not wanting them to hang around. It got to that point. Anyhow, I met my first kid's dad. I was only 15, and we were like little street rats. We'd always be down the main street, and it was 2004, 2005. And in Dubbo, like there's this main street, Macquarie Street, and all the P-platers just like there's 3 roundabouts and you just windows down, music blaring, and you're just doing laps of the main street. But like we were walking on this main street, like my best friend and I, we'd both ran away from home together. And him and his mates were walking on the other side of the street. And I was like, we kept looking at each other, kept looking back at each other. And I don't know, something just, I was like, yeah, I got to crash on that guy.
That was it, eh? Love at first sight.
Yeah. I ended up falling pregnant to him. Like we were, I was 16. We were sneaking into my best friend and I were jumping the back fence of the commercial hotel in Dubbo into the nightclub.
Yeah.
And I was staying at this little, like, it was so bad. It was like the dingiest little like lodge, you know, where there was just like drug addicts galore. I was a young girl and I don't know what I was doing. I had a perfectly good home that I could have gone back to, but there was too many rules, you know. Anyways, I ended up falling pregnant to Gregory, and I moved in with his family while I was pregnant, and I was like staying with him and his family and with my dad. My mum and dad had separated at around about the same time, you know. My dad being a muso and always traveling, and he was also very much like a family man. Like what was under his roof really mattered to him, like us kids. And I would go backwards and forwards and stay with Dad, and then back into town, you know. And I was staying at my dad's the night I went into labour, and he was cooking a roast dinner. We missed out on having it the night before, and he was panicking. He said, "Quick, we got to go. We got to get to the hospital." And I was like, "No, I'm not missing out on this roast dinner again."
You love your food, eh?
Love my food. Love my food.
Yeah.
20 kilos since I've come into recovery.
Yeah.
So yeah, I missed food. But yeah, so I ran a bubble bath, and I was having a bubble bath while the roast was cooking, and I smashed the roast, and then we drove in and to the Dubbo Base Hospital, and I had Bubby, and my dad was just smitten with this baby.
Oh, is he?
You know, like we came home from the hospital back to my dad's house, and my partner at the time, his family lived like out in this little like remote town out like near Burke. I think it was called Girralambone. Right? Yeah.
Oh,
and
Girralambone.
Girralambone, yeah. There was one shop, you know, which charged
Local store, huh?
Yeah, which charged an arm and a leg for everything. One of those little ones.
Standard.
Yeah. And they'd organised like to get my partner and I a little house in Nyngan. And so I stayed with Dad for 3 weeks or 2 weeks, I think. And then my dad drove us out to this new little house, which was going to be ours. And dropped us off, stayed the night. My dad and I, we watched Mrs. Doubtfire on VCR. I cooked him a big breakfast the next morning, and when he left, he gave me a really, really big hug, like a long hug. And he said, like, "I love you, Stace," you know. Like he really said it to me, so I'd hear it. And didn't really think anything of it. I was like, okay. He gave me the Brooks and Dunn CD that he'd had in his car that we'd been listening to like while we were driving around while I was pregnant and stuff. And he gave me that CD, and he left, and I got a phone call like 2 days later from my little brother, and like my dad was always home for whenever my little brother would get off the bus. You know, like Mum wasn't living out of town anymore. She'd moved into town. Like they were having their issues. You know, Dad thought he wanted something else. Thought he went soul searching. Like I remember I'd gotten to town one of the times I'd caught a bus to go stay with Dad, and I called him and I said, "Come pick me up from the bus stop." And he said, "Oh no, I'm in Scone or somewhere." I'm going on a road trip with my cowboy friends. I said, alrighty. He was very much like that. But never miss like my brother being home. And Travis said, like, that's my brother Travis. He said, have you heard from Dad? I said, no. Why? He said, because he's not home. And my auntie drove about 2.5 hours, got in the car and drove about 2.5 hours out to pick me up from where I was living. And I just had this feeling, all of a sudden my stomach had just turned and I just felt it. Like before my auntie had come to pick me up, like we went down to do some groceries, my partner and I, and I bought a little jar of coffee. I never drank coffee. I didn't drink coffee till I went to jail. But I bought a jar of coffee and I just knew in my gut that Dad was not going to drink it. I bought it for him though. And my dad had taken his life. Yep. I gave myself conjunctivitis within hours of just crying. And then I didn't want to feed. I had a newborn. Didn't want to feed him. My boobs filled up with milk so big and they were painful. I just remember sobbing in the shower. Like I ended up going, my auntie took me to my mum's house in town and there was so many people there. Like, fuck off, fuck. Like, they all just wanted to be there and like everyone like grieving my dad around me.
Yeah.
Like, fuck off. Sorry, but.
Yeah,
And I was like, my boobs were hurting. I had this newborn baby and for like the 3 weeks that I was a new mum, a young mum, but I was a good little mum, just everything came so natural to me. And then like my biggest love, which is my dad, like I was a dad's girl, my biggest love and it really had me, like I said to you last night, like he was a good dad. He was the best dad. I could never have faulted him. I had the best dad in the world. I still say this to this day. I had the best dad in the whole wide world. I was a daddy's girl. I was spoilt rotten by my dad. I think my mum used to get jealous over how spoilt I was and how much he loved me. So it's really and now still like it doesn't make sense to me that it
was unexpected, huh?
I mean, I'd written him a letter in the weeks prior saying, I hope you know how you're my hero, that. And I know, like, he'd made a comment that he feels like sometimes he has the weight of the world on his shoulders, and I just wish he had known that he could talk. And he had so many people that always used to come to him, always had these like sidekicks that he'd take under his wing, I didn't know that my dad was in AA until after the fact of all this. My dad was, I still don't even know how many years clean time he had, but those people that my dad always had hanging around,
that's who they were.
They would be his sponsees, Yeah. He was taking him through the AA program, and it all makes sense now because they were a bit weird, Like, who are these weird people my dad always has around? But now it makes sense to me. They were like old alcoholics that my dad was mentoring or sponsoring, But he didn't feel like he could, It had to have taken a lot of pain and just not knowing what else he could do for my dad to have done what he did, because it sent like a tidal wave through not just immediate family, but our whole family. Like, we've all barely seen each other since my dad passing, whereas we used to be a real tight family unit, cousins and aunties and uncles and nan and granddad and all of us. It was really special, and my dad was he was a special man to like all of my girl cousins. Like, they loved Uncle Sam. He was yeah. And my nana now lost two sons to the same thing. My dad's brother, her only sons. She had five daughters and two sons, and lost both her sons.
What happened to her brother? To your dad's brother, Bob's brother?
So I was told, my dad really sheltered me from a lot of stuff, you know, like I was told that he was sick or something like that, but I'm sure that he also took his own life. Granddad was an alcoholic and I think a violent man. I think they grew up with that, you know. And I also think that's why my dad chose to be in AA, because I never saw my dad with a drink in his hand. I never saw my dad drunk. Excuse me. I'm pretty sure when my mum was pregnant with me, he started AA. I heard stories, but you can't taint the image that I have of my dad.
Yeah, what do you mean you heard stories then? Like negative stories?
Yeah. Like
about your dad before he was
that apparently he was like a violent man when he was drinking.
Yeah.
You know? I remember he had these big hands. My dad had big hands, like working man's hands, you know? And I don't know why. Whenever I think of that, I just think, they could be dangerous.
It's so naughty because last night you said to me I had big hands away.
But
what else you were thinking about your dad?
No, I was just watching you eat your burger and I thought, you got long fingers.
Oh, God. Okay, yeah, so what? So hearing those stories, water off a duck's back.
Water off a duck's back.
You're probably proud of him.
Well, love him, loved him. Cannot fault my dad in my eyes.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Stacey. I can't imagine. I remember when we first spoke about that. It really it hit me for six, because what it really hit me for six is you cried yourself for days.
Yeah,
I can't.
Yeah,
can't
for
imagine.
days and for weeks, for months. You know, I think I stopped crying when I found drugs.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
is that what happened?
Well, I started alcohol first. Like only a couple of weeks after it happened, I went back to that little town where we were living and I was off my partner, hated him, resented him, because why did I spend so much time with him when I could have been just spending time with my dad? Not having known that was the last, you know, maybe things would have been different. Maybe, you know, because mum was in town, my little brother was living in town with mum and like backwards and forwards from mum and out to dad's. And he was out there alone, you know, and he was that's not what he wanted, you know. After he went on his little soul searching journey and him and mum split, I still remember he came to pick me up from my mum's house and was sitting out the front of mum's and I remember sitting in the car and I had my little bubby in the seat and I watched him ask mum, you know, can we fix this? You know, my mum was like, no. And, you know, she's probably was hurting too. Like you don't get to drop me and then want to pick me back up again, you know. But and he got in the car and there's a tear rolling down his cheek. I said, fuck, don't worry about her, Dad. Fucking don't worry about her. You know, that's all I really knew what to say. But it wasn't just her; it was a whole, you know. It was like a family man. He didn't have his family anymore, and I was a bit lost.
So you started drinking?
I started drinking after Dad died. Yeah, there wasn't really drugs out in the little town that I was living in.
No drugs, pot. There would have been
pot. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I dabbled with pot even like when I was running away from home and stuff like that. I dabbled with pot. Wasn't ever really an issue. It was like I was like a 2-cone wonder, you know.
Yeah.
But I started drinking. Like I created so much turmoil between my partner, like my kid's dad and I, that he went back out to his parents' house at Lambone, and I just started drinking to write myself off, hanging around with the boys that were in this little town. And
did that help? Do you reckon, like the grief you were going through, did it help? Probably did, didn't it? Like,
in a way.
that's why you kept going. Like,
Well, that's the sneaky thing about addiction, right? And my opinion, alcohol is a drug. That's me.
me too.
I'm abstinent from all substances. I mean, that's what it wants you to think, that it's helping. It's absolutely not. But I thought it was. I wasn't feeling. I was writing myself off. Didn't want to feel.
It was like time out from the grief, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's
Because every second, like every time I went to sleep, I'd either dream about my dad or I'd wake up and it was like, fuck, it's real. It's real. My dad's gone. Fuck. It's real. You know? I just couldn't wrap my head around it. Didn't want to accept it. Like it ripped me out of my own body. Oh my God, it's fucking real. Crazy. Like, God, take anyone except him. You know? Anybody but him. That's fucked up to say, but yeah. Anybody but him. But yeah. We took him. We took himself. Whatever he was saying. But yeah, anyways, I drank for a while and wore my welcome out in that town, really. And
I know that feeling.
yeah, and I went back to Dubbo, and that's where the bigger and badder drugs were, you know, and I seeked them out. And it seemed like a fun time for a while. I mean, for a good while. A lot of my...
You're like 17 now?
Yep, 17 now. A lot of my addiction, I can't say that it was all doom and gloom.
Sure.
You know?
Me too.
I fucking had a lot of fun, but the collateral damage along the way, to look back on now is like epic. But yeah, I didn't really grieve. I just went anywhere I went. I seeked out and found the people that would feed my habit. And I was dragging this little boy around with me, you know. It's not fair on him, you know, just it's crazy. Crazy. And my mum left Dubbo and there was nothing there for her anymore. Except I guess heartache. And she moved to Queensland into Beaudesert. So I followed her. And I did the exact same thing in Beaudesert. Exact same thing.
Wherever you go, there you are.
Wherever I go, there I am. No matter how fast I run, you know?
Your geographical, you can't outrun yourself.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah. And backwards and forwards from Queensland and New South Wales, just doing the same old shit. I mean, like, yeah.
I used to do the same thing, by the way. Like my mum and my dad, I used to swap between mum and dad, like growing up, you know. I'd do my welcome one, they kick me out and I'd go to dad's and I'd do the same and go back.
Yeah.
You know?
I think I did that everywhere I went.
Yeah, I've always been running from somebody there. Me, but I kept. Yeah. So what were you using amphetamines?
I was using like the old school speed at first, you know.
What did they call it back then? It was like, I remember that.
I don't know, gack, cat's piss. I don't know.
You ever get that champagne?
Cooter.
Did you ever see the champagne?
Yeah. Seen a pink one, seen a blue one.
Blue one?
Yeah.
Fucking Breaking Bad. Yeah, and the gluggy one.
Yeah, stinky stuff. But it was, God. But it was that at first, but then that kind of like fizzled out in like what, 2010, 10, 11-ish. and it was the meth, like.
Okay, so you go, all right, well, this is, now you've decided, right, Danny's going to fight for his life. Like, you're going to fight for your life at that point, right, in terms of, all right,
kind
fine.
of. It's not really like I thought that at all. I just, because I didn't know then I wasn't going to use again, but it's like this power that had been in me was taken away. It was like I didn't need to use anymore. Or the term that they say, if you don't pick up, you can't get stoned. It made sense now. Like, I always just thought I'd fuck it up and I'd throw it all away. So that...
Was it a maturity thing?
I think it was a miracle to go back to it.
Okay.
I feel like it was just... can I replicate it and can I help somebody else replicate it? I think I can. I think it's that point of changing your mind, because that's the thing that really sets this apart from any other time, is the fact that I changed my mind. It was the most sensible, calculated, consequential decision I'd ever made, And it was that gave me this power, like, well, if I could do it that day, I can do it again. And I can do it again, and I can do it again, and it's...
So I was doing it that once that said, okay, I can do it that one time, right?
Yeah.
And then you just leveraged off of that, and it kept you going.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so then, all right, so you've done that.
Yeah.
Right? Now you're talking to people that you know, maybe reestablishing some relationships and stuff like that, right? You've been in rehab 49 times, yeah?
Yeah.
Did people believe you were coming back? Like, who was the first person after that, right, that believed in you and said, okay, I really do believe this guy's back?
It's a great question. I'll tell you what, it took, and this is really, this is quite intense. So because I'd had 49 attempts, I'd hurt so many people. Even in recovery, I was a shit person. I'd stolen shit. So it wasn't easy. Just because Daddy has little miracle has happened doesn't mean everyone around me is open arms. Even though they say in recovery, we believe in you and we're not judgmental. Everyone judges,
Yep.
So there's this little saying that I learned, like the doors get narrower every time you relapse and fuck it up. So there's less love. But you know what I did, and I'd encourage every single person to this, is I just sat on my hands. I just took the cotton wool out of my ears and shoved it in my mouth. I shut the fuck up, and I kept fronting up regardless, day in, day out. I'm talking 12-step fellowship, really, when I say that. Like, I just kept fronting up. People wanted to fight me. People didn't like me. I'd hurt this chick. I'd hurt that chick. I owed that guy money. And I just kept turning up, because if I didn't, I wouldn't have survived. And, one day at a time, one foot in front of the other, I just continued moving forward. And I reckon 9 months, people thought, he's still here, he's still here. Let's give him a hug. Let's give him a hug and shake his hand. And then I became like, I started building incredible relationships everywhere, Over the next, bunch of years, I became like, again, Mr. Popular again, like back when I was a kid.
Yeah, without the
drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that made you, obviously, you were getting like a better reward than you were when with the drugs.
It's completely different. Dan, it was like I started studying at 2 years clean to work in a rehab, The lady, that lady, the Scottish one, she said to me when I started studying, because I was still real shady in my early days of recovery. I was always up to no good, but I wasn't using drugs. And she said, when I told her I'm going to start studying, she said, you'll never work here. 6 months later, I get a phone call. That counsellor that called me out when I was walking up and down the stairs, he'd picked up drugs. After 26 years, he was back on the heroin. He'd worked in that rehab for a long time. And she said to me, Danny, can you come work here, Fuck. It was incredible.
That's bizarre, right?
Yeah, man. Like, I spent my first overnight shift in a rehab that I got clean in. On my third birthday, I woke up, 3 years milestone, clean and sober. I woke up in the staff quarters, thinking, what the fuck? Like, it was just the most incredible feeling, and getting paid good money and helping the boys who helping the boys to turn their lives around too.
Do you think you get more emotional about the positive stuff that you're doing than you do about thinking about the bad stuff? Does that hit you harder than?
Yeah, I don't. The bad stuff, I don't care. Like I'm my tears of joy. They're tears of joy. You know, they're gratitude. They're truly not connected to sadness. If I'm working with somebody who tells me a horrible, traumatic story, I get quite teary. For them, like I'm very super compassionate, which is something I never used to have any ability to do. But my tears are often tears of joy. Like it's gratitude. I can't explain it, but like I literally lived the most incredible life, a life beyond my wildest dreams. I have just got the most incredible life, you know, today because of that place. Actually, I reckon that rehab, Glebe House, by the way.
All right, so you're working at Glebe House.
Yeah.
All right. When's this? What year's this?
I started in 2013 and I worked there for 10 years. I became like a senior, second in charge. I'd fucking run hundreds of groups. I'd built myself the most incredible life. I literally traveled the world. I always put my recovery first. Wherever I went, I was involved in 12-step fellowships. I bought a house. I built this life. I built a relationship with my son, who we haven't mentioned. He was born in 2001. So in the first half of my son's life, he spent visiting me in jails and institutions.
Yep.
You know, I had no relationship with my boy. But when I got clean, and even for those first few years of being sober, I was really selfish too. You know, even though I'd stopped using the drugs, I was still very self-centered, self-seeking. Again, that lady from that rehab, that woman, she said to me one day, Christmas the next year, she said, "Danny, you've always got your hand out," you know. Fuck, she was so true. Like I always had my hand out. Like I always wanted something for free, you know. I didn't understand the concept of working hard for things. There's a little reading that I've read and it says, it talks about a leech on society. I was a fucking leech on society, you know. And it took me years before I started to truly give back. My first 2 years, even 5 years in recovery, was all about me. Everything was about me, you know. So where I was going with that is my son, my poor son. I realised after a few years being clean, like I need to start building a relationship with my boy.
Did that come easily?
No, it did not. Like the shame related to my son. So let me share this thing. Like I used to go home, say on a Friday, no, on a Saturday morning to go visit my son at my mum's house. The minute I'd get on the train to head out there, I'd start, this is really bizarre, right? I'd start to get really tired and I'd start yawning, right? And then I'd be at my mum's house and I'd be tired and I'd be yawning. It's shame, right? Shame has this real physical ailment to it. And mum said to me one day, like, Danny, you know, I guess she was questioning if I was clean, you know. She said, you're always tired when you come here. And I remember flipping it because I'm fucking clean. I'm trying to do my best. But then I'd get on the train to go home and I'd wake up, right? Like I did this week in, week after. And then one day I realized, fuck, it's the shame. It's the shame of going out to my family's house that made me feel tired and lethargic. And once I understood that, I was able to start, I don't know, kind of counteracting it. And look, I set an alarm on my phone at 4 p.m. to ring my son. I had a label ring my son. I just did that every day.
Yep.
Started calling him. Mate, we've got a maddest relationship today. He's coming to stay at my house this Sunday night.
So how old is he now?
He's 23.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I've also got a beautiful 8-year-old daughter who was born in recovery. So two completely different dynamics of a relationship, you know. My son witnessed his dad going through hell, you know. He was brought up by my mum, thank goodness, and his other grandparents. But my daughter has my daughter's treated like a queen, you know. She's only ever known her dad to be somebody who helps people. So we've got the most beautiful relationship too. Me and my boy have a pretty good relationship too, you know. But it takes hard work, man.
It's beyond hard work. Like we all know it. So
yeah.
2013.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
So you're working at Glebe.
Yeah.
What is it,
Glebe House.
Glebe House. Things are going good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How did COVID hit you? Like
Yeah.
with that COVID time when we're all locked up.
Yeah.
Was it hard?
I had
was
it
the
wasn't.
boredom
I
or
was-
anything like that? No, or you
Nah.
were fully locked in.
So
now
I was by that. That's what 2018 or
Yeah,
something.
yep.
Yeah, I was working. I was what do they call those people? Essential worker or something. So I was allowed out of the house because I had to go to work.
Essential worker.
Yeah, an essential worker.
Yeah.
So, mate, I'm actually a real isolator. Not an isolator. I love solitude. So I'm not a people person. Like I thrived through the entire COVID. I used to work great shifts. I was definitely still doing whatever I wanted to do somewhat as well, just because I put down the drugs. It's not Saints Anonymous, I didn't become an angel overnight, that's for sure. So I built a gym at home. So gym has been a huge part of my journey as well. In 2013, I got quite heavy and I heard that muscle burns fat and I thought, well, fuck, stop eating. I'm just going to get muscly. And what that did was slowly over the years, I started to build this relationship with the gym and also with food, and it has been like my instrumental part of my recovery. Like every single day you'll find me at the gym. Anyway, the point is through COVID I even made that work. I built a home gym. All the gyms were shut down. I've got to say I was good mates with the owner of a local gym as well, where they'll let me go in there of a morning
On the sly?
Well, I don't. They had cleaners there. I don't. Yeah. But yeah, I was hooked up. Mate, my whole journey of recovery has been there's been lots of sad, mad, bad, like depression. Depression, something that I know you wouldn't think I'd talk about much, but I've had the black dog. I've had the heavy feeling of. I never wanted to, in all my using and abusing, 17 years of heroin use, I never wanted to kill myself until I got clean.
Yeah, right.
Which is pretty fucking a heavy thing. Sorry, I don't mean to scare you.
Is this on more than one occasion that you felt this, or was it a build? What
the insanity of these raw feelings that I had, it was just so overwhelming. Every day I'd be thinking about, can I get hit by a car so I can break a leg and get morphine? Or what if I could just win the lotto and have enough heroin to use every day for the rest of my life? Or just walking in front of that bus because I just couldn't handle these feelings anymore, I never planned to do it, but every time the bus was coming, I would think, fuck, I should just jump,
So when you're younger, people that aren't using, they experience these emotions when they're young and they learn to cope with them potentially. Right. You in the past you hadn't really felt those emotions because you were just using to get, and they were going right. Then all of a sudden you're in your 30s at this point.
33. Yeah.
You're at your 33 and you're actually feeling these unhinged emotions.
Hadn't felt
for
them
the first time
never
ever.
even experienced them.
Yeah.
Hadn't even cried. So all these feelings and anxiety. I didn't know what anxiety was. I was on the methadone, so I had this security blanket of stoneness constantly. For 13 years I was on that. So for 13 years I never experienced a feeling. I'll say it like that.
Yep.
And then you get off it and it's just like, ew, like what the fuck is this? Like, how can I possibly live like this for the rest of my life,
Yeah.
But that's what I am now. I'm that total absence. I have not had a drink or a drug for 16 years, 2 months and 17 days. Total abstinence, so it's pretty wild to think from where I was to where I am now. But that raw, unguarded feeling of fear and anxiety, I get it, mate. When people come to me and they're still feeling that, but even in their early days of recovery, it's a hard thing to feel, Did you find a massive difference between meth and speed?
Yeah, absolutely. The unmanageability in life with meth,
it's the next level.
It's so meth all of a sudden had 40-year-olds living out of their backpacks that once had a house and car and kids and stuff. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, you give them 6 months.
So what about you then? What was the unmanageability for you? When you switched over?
I mean, I was already pretty unmanageable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old are you by now, by this time?
Oh, goodness me. 20?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I was about 20, 21.
You're doing some crazy shit?
Yeah. Just wild. Just wild. I can't even think of so much just it was just non-stop.
Tell me one of the wildest things that happened to you, like in that time.
In that time or later on?
Yeah. Well,
In that time. Oh, God. The wildest thing out of everything would be getting shot.
This is, can you just show me your head. Gives it, what, how many feet? What the fuck?
1,
1, 2, 3. You only got 4 fingers?
9. I've got
Yeah, okay.
7 fingers and 2 thumbs.
What the fuck?
I'm an avatar. I'm half avatar.
Is it? It's like I feel like it's some kind of.
Shut up.
Oh my God. So you got shot. Where'd you get shot?
Through the hand.
Oh my God. You blew your finger off?
Well, not straight away. No, I didn't blow my finger off.
Oh, what happened?
I was kicking around with this guy. He was my friend, right?
It's not funny, by the way.
It is funny if you don't laugh. What?
Yeah.
Very paranoid dude. Always had guns on him. Always. Always thought everyone was after him. Like just a real wigger, you know. I don't really care if I was around wiggers. Like I was very blasé, oblivious to whatever there was going on for them, and I was just doing my thing, you know. Anyhow, we'd gone back to his place and copious amounts of Frank, copious amounts of meth. Like we were up to our eyeballs in drugs, and he's pulled out this Roscoe, and I don't know what made me do it, and it's all still very much a blur. But he's pointed it, and I just went, and then boom. And I'm just like, what the actual fuck just happened?
A shotgun, is it?
Right.
Right.
It was a 410. Yeah.
Dead.
If I'd have been further away, like if my hand had been further away rather than right over the end of the barrel, I probably would have lost my hand. Or even worse, anything worse, like a lot of, it could have went a lot of different ways. And I looked down and it had just gone like through this part here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, you just fucking shot me. And he's like, you grabbed the gun. And I'm like, I had a brand new pair of TNs on. They were like limited edition pink something or others. And God forbid I get blood all over them. So I said, grab a towel, wrap my hand up. I said, we'll go to the hospital. And he's like, righto. So we've gone out to the car. He's like stashing a heap of bags and like big bottles of Frank, like in my car. And then I'm like, hurry the fuck up, bro. We gotta go. And I think I was in shock. I was like rocking backwards and forwards, and we're on our way to the hospital. And I said,
did it hurt?
I don't know. I don't remember. Perhaps. I mean, it should have.
We'll talk more about the Frank. It's the Frank, which is GHB. GHB. What else do they call that?
Oh, I mean, I just call it Frank. I know in other states and stuff it's like juice or.
I've watched people just like being like aliens. So I imagine you got no feeling.
I don't know.
And shock.
Shock, yeah.
Shock.
Yeah. And he went to stop at a red light. And I'm like, you better run that red light. I got a pain in my knuckle. You better drive. You better fucking drive. Yeah, we got to the hospital, ran in, and they put me through. Yeah, coppers come up to the hospital. They'd pulled him over in my car after he left the hospital, taken my car into they took my car and stuff like that. Came up to the hospital trying to like talk to me and get me to. I just threw off.
What'd you say? So the police wanted to know what happened to your hand. What happened to your finger?
I mean, I think that they were well aware of like who done it. They just wanted me to throw him under the bus.
Yeah. Was he known to the police?
Oh yeah, definitely. Very known. But I wasn't going to do that. He was my mate, you know. It wasn't meant to happen.
Did you get any blood on your shoes?
I can't remember. The hospital stole my shoes.
Oh, forensics took them.
No. Do you think?
Yeah, for sure.
Wow, I never thought of that. Even to this day, I never thought.
It'd still be in evidence. They got to keep evidence.
Oh, fuck them. They could have them. They could have them.
Oh, yeah. So you got a hole in your hand.
Mm.
And you still got a finger bar.
No.
Oh,
No. So the finger was still there, pretty fucked up, but it was still there. And over time, like like your best bet is getting this removed, It's fucked, get rid of it.
Hey,
and I was
you
like,
got shot here, but didn't you?
in here, yeah.
So that's the bone for that finger, isn't it?
It's like the whole
phalanges, your metacarpals. Anyway,
the knuckle was just obliterated, however you say it. It was blown to smithereens.
Shit.
It was smashed.
Yeah. So they cut your finger off?
No, not straight away. No, I didn't want them to because
you wanted to keep your finger.
I didn't want them to freaking. I was so worried about what people would think or how it would look.
Yeah.
For ages. That's all. Like I was like, I don't care if it's a hindrance. I don't care. Just I'm not. There's no way you're cutting my finger off. Absolutely not. So sewed it up, washed it up best they could. There were still fragments, all like of shit like that I was picking out of my hand for weeks and weeks afterwards. And
what do you mean fragments?
Fragments of something.
Yeah, I wonder what it was. Bone or
I don't know.
metal or
I don't know. Just bits of shit. Yeah.
it's a bit. It's like this. Yeah, it was like drawing up the scab or something, was it? Maybe.
No, I think it was from I think it was like a buck shot or something.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really know, to be honest.
So,
I wasn't in the clearest of heads when it all.
you still on drugs?
What?
Stupid question, eh? What a dumb question.
Now.
What then at the time?
Yeah. For ages afterwards, I had people bring me drugs to the hospital, so I could smoke in the bathroom, while I was up there. And then when they come back, meth. So then when they came back around for another, we're just going to check your heart rate, check this, check that. I'd slept for 2 days straight, and then all of a sudden all my friends had visited, and then your heart rate is unusually high. I'm like, the insanity of it, Anyways, I kept the finger. Over time, it went trigger finger like this. And then the pinky was sympathizing with it. So it started doing that.
Sympathizing.
Right. And
medical terminology.
it was
Anyway.
and it would get hooked on shit. And I would be like, always just, it was such. Anyways, I ended up getting into recovery. I'd gotten so sick from living in this dingy place in Brisbane City called Turbot House. It was 3 levels of just derelicts and
slum.
It was so putrid. It really was. You'd pay, I don't know how much a night. This little Asian lady ran it. She was just ripping everybody off. It was crazy. You'd flick a photo frame on the wall and fucking roaches and shit had come. It was so gross, but anyways, I was staying there, and because I had an open wound. I remember pulling a pin out of my knuckle at one stage. It was a sharp thing, and I'd knocked it because I was so what's the word? Just clumsy, but just a ruckus, And I'd whacked my knuckle one too many times, and there was this sharp pain in it. And I just remember going what is this? And pulling out this medical pin about this out of my finger. And my friend at the time was watching me what is going on? Yeah. Anyways, I'd gotten really sick. I got a staph infection. I wasn't using hygienically, none of looking after yourself. I just wasn't doing it at all. And I all the while, I've got my little boy with me. I'd met my little boy's dad when I was living in Redcliffe Way, and my little boy's dad took his life. That's a whole nother. Is that
the one that
Ocean's no.
Okay.
Ocean's dad, my youngest boy. Yeah. Anyways, docs had got wind of this little boy and his mother, drug addict mother, in the way we were living, and I'd ended up in hospital, and that's how they were notified of what's going on with this little boy, is because like a nurse has said, hey, like something's not right, like this little, and thank God, I'm so grateful that happened. If I had been in the one place for long enough, I probably would have lost him a lot longer before, but I just wasn't. I didn't have anywhere stable, so it was like kind of like catch me if you can. Just dragging this little boy through all sorts of shit. I know, as I called up my sister, Alicia, love Alicia, and I said from the hospital, and I was scared. I was actually scared. I'm like, they've caught up with me. Like, I'm in here. My son was staying like around the corner from the hospital with one of my dear friends, and I was like, fuck, I don't feel good about this time. Like, I can't keep running. And I used to go and stay with my sister. Like, sometimes I'd rock up there, sleep, eat. She'd think, oh, I'd get like a few days under my belt. Someone would contact me or payday would hit and off I'd go again, But she never turned me away so she could have a double lung transplant and stuff. She smoked like a chimney, man. She smoked like a chimney. Just sitting outside with a smoke in her hand, and she'd get a pinky finger and run it along her lips all the time. But she was the best, man. She adored me. We used to live around the corner from each other, and I'd run around to her place, and she'd always have lollies and snacks. And, Alicia always had like the coolest clothes. And, but yeah, they were best friends and like family, and Alicia just never turned her back on me, ever. No matter how messy I was, no matter how bad I'd been, she just never, ever turned her back on me. And it's like, I felt like a lot of family did, and that was the only option they felt like they had, but she never, ever did. Anyways, I rang her from the hospital and I said, can I please come stay with you? Like, docs, and she said, I can't, Stace. Like, every time you come and then leave, like, it's not just you that we're worried about. Like, she's got a little boy there as well. And she said, it's Ocean too. Like, I'm worried, like, kills me with worry. Like, and I said, okay, all right, I understand. Because I understood. Can't keep doing that. And I said, what about if I go to rehab? Will you take Ocean for me? She said, yep, I will. So I got myself into a rehab, and she took Oshie, and I did 6 weeks there.
What rehab was it?
Logan House in Queensland. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, just outside of Brisbane.
Logan, yeah. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It's the first time, like, there's been other attempts at getting clean. Like, I remember my mum drove me in 2014. My mum drove me to Bennelong's Haven out at Kempsey. But I don't.
Our baby's at the moment, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, I thought they shut that down.
Oh, sorry, he's in Bennelong. Oh, it's Duralong's.
Yeah.
Oh, Bennelong's different. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't remember anything from that rehab because it wasn't my choice to be there. It was like family force.
But you loved
thing.
it.
At Bennelong's Haven. I mean, I did, yeah. I did. I liked it. I just don't remember any groups. I don't remember any program or any of that kind of stuff. I remember people and laughs and having fun and stuff like that, but I don't remember any program. Anyways, I took off from there. But Logan House, that was like the first time that I myself was like, I can't keep living like this. Like, I was knocking on death's doorstep, knocking on death's door. Anyways, I was on death's doorstep. Like, I'd gotten golden staph. Like, I had a blood poisoning. Like, I'd shaved off all my hair. I looked so unwell. I was so unwell.
I've seen the photo.
Yeah. Like, I was as bald as you.
Why did you shave your head?
I was grieving the loss of my son's dad. I was I don't know.
Did he take his life?
He took his life, yeah.
Goodness, you've been surrounded by so much sadness.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. I wish that we could have got this recovery gig together. How different life would have been, you know. But it's just not how it worked out.
There's Ocean. What does Ocean know about his dad now?
That he's in heaven. That he loves him very much. That he looks just like him. You know, because he does. Ocean looks just like his dad. Yeah.
What happened to your finger? Did they cut it off or something?
Yeah, well, I went to rehab for a little while in Logan House.
Yeah.
Still with the manky finger. The manky finger.
Yeah.
I left after 6 weeks and I went to a women's refuge place called Lily House.
Oh, I never heard of
It's for women escaping DV, trauma, like a place for them to just get some respite and like get their life together, you know. Beautiful women. It's a Christian-based refuge. Anyways, I went there and while I was there, I made this decision that I wanted to do boxing, and I had in my head, I'm gonna get rid of this finger. I'm gonna get it amputated, and I'm gonna be able to, because I couldn't hit anything. I was so restricted. I couldn't touch my own face like this because there was this finger, like, you know, like, and so I contacted the hospital, the one that I'd been to that said that they had a hand specialist there. I said, what do I do? How do I go about getting?
So did it heal yet? So it all healed?
Yeah, it was healed and it was fucked.
Yeah, sure.
It was just weird. It was like, anyways, so we got the appointment done. I went and saw someone and got booked in to get a ray amputation done while I was in recovery. And off it went.
So when was that? How long ago was that?
2020. I want to say 2023.
Oh, wow. So it's not that long ago.
Or 2022, maybe.
Shit, it's not even long ago.
It might have been 2022.
It looks so well. It looks so healed.
Yeah,
it looks so...
it's just a perfectly good Avatar Simpsons hand.
So you're 2 years and 10 days sober now. So
yeah, so I relapsed after. No, it's not this recovery.
Okay, yeah.
It's not this recovery. I lasted about 8 months in that recovery.
Okay.
I left Lily House and I went back to Logan House because I had I'm close to a relapse.
Yeah.
And I thought, holy shit, I'm going to go back to rehab. And so I went back to rehab this time with Ocean because Logan House has a mother's mothers and bubs units. We get our own, like, it's a full, like, little unit, 2-bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, all of it, like, just full setup. And so I went back there for a little bit.
Yeah.
My other sister put me up in a house by the time I'd finished that program. It was so cool being there. It was really cool. I love Logan House, you know, like the program, but it was a safe space for me
the people for you.
It was the people. Like I had a TF, a treatment facilitator there named John Evans. Even though I didn't end up staying clean in that recovery, the impact that man had on me and like tapping into the reasons why I used, and he's like the first person that I opened up to. Like I had my first real big cry when him and I sat down in in an appointment and did my timeline. And most of it just all leads back to Dad. All the destruction, it all just leads back to this little girl like hurting over my dad, and then like just crazy. But this man, John, like I still email him every now and then and say, guess what, John, I'm da-da-da so much, you know, I'm so many days clean, or I'm now a year clean, or I'm 18 months clean, like, because he was really, like, I loved that man. He was just incredible. Anybody that's been to Logan House or anybody in the recovery space that has got to like know John or be able to work with John, I'm sure that they would say the same thing, unless he's like told them straight and they couldn't cop it, because he was a no bullshit kind of guy. Yeah. Like, you didn't fuck with John. Yeah. You didn't muck around, you know. Yeah. But he was hard, but he was fair. He really cared about the kind of work that he did.
Even after the case, people often say, I remember because I worked in rehab for 10 years, often even after the fact, people understand that, oh, you know what, he was right. He might have kicked me out, but he was right, you know. Yeah. And that might have been the right direction that they needed. It's good to have those people that believe in us. You remember John.
I will never forget John, ever. And Mel, another lady, Mel, that was at the rehab. She was great, you know, like just I could name a few of them that were just amazing.
On that note too, I'm currently working with and one of our sponsors for this podcast, Rewire, Realign, their treatment centre in Melbourne. And I know because I speak to their clients quite regularly, and when they refer back to Mika or Nadia having such a heavy impact on them, we don't forget that stuff, do we?
No.
In those early days, they do things like breath work, sound healing. All the therapies, you know, what kind of therapies were you doing at Logan?
We weren't really doing any therapy. Yeah. There was no therapy, really.
Yeah. Yeah. But you had connection with
other people, and like treatment facilitator that really cared. And and just having just a safe space to just not have to be like fighting or to survive or like wondering where I'm going to be that night. Where am I going to sleep? Where am I going to just not being in survival mode and just being able to be like, hey, I can actually recover. Yeah, but I didn't stay recovered in that recovery. And I think for me, that recovery was lonely. It's very different to this recovery. This recovery, I came into a 12-step fellowship.
So you didn't that time? This time
I didn't that time. No. This time around, I relapsed for about 6 months.
Yep.
You know, I was down the Gold Coast. It was quite a luxurious relapse, actually. I
remember I had a bit sad with you. You were going out for drug dealers.
I was going out with a drug dealer who just had
live the dream.
Yeah, but do you know what? Like, no matter what kind of car I was driving, I was driving Mercedes and Range Rovers and staying in the nicest places, and I could spend all the money I wanted, but like my little boy didn't have a clean mum. And spiritually, none of that was filling my cup. None of it. I'd already had a little taste of what being clean was like, and I just wanted to get back to that, you know. And God provided for me. Like, I got a call from housing. Like, thank God. Like, how good is Australia and the stuff that we get? Like
recovery, yeah,
right, yeah. So I got a call from housing, and they said, "Look, we've got this unit that we want you to look at." Like, because I'd been on the priority list from my previous recovery when I was in rehab, and I was trying to find a place and I couldn't. That's why my sister and her partner bought an investment unit and rented it to me, you know, until I relapsed. And then they were like, get out, get out, which was sad, you know. I wanted to be honest with them. Like, my mum said, don't tell her you relapsed. And I was like, are you sure? Like, I really, really want to. My sister and I had gotten close in like that recovery. Like, I finally felt like I had my sister back, and mum said, please just don't tell her. So I didn't, you know. And then my mum told her. I was like, what? And my sister was fucking burnt about it. I was like, I wanted to tell you. I should have. Anyways, I didn't. She was dirty about it. And said, you got a month to get out. So this drug dealer boyfriend kept me, you know, I survived. I was using, but I was surviving. And when housing called, I was like, yes. So I drove a Mercedes to Department of Housing, make that make sense. Picked up the keys. I didn't tell the boyfriend that I was going to do it. I wanted to, you know, and I went and looked at this little place and went back and I said, yep, I'll take it. I called Logan House back and I said, I need a bed. Because I didn't want to go like everywhere I'd been for years and years, I'd shit in all of my nests. You know, you don't shit in your own nest. Well, I fucking did. Every single nest that I ever was in, I shit in it. I didn't want to do that to this place. I was like, this is like a clean slate for me. Like, been homeless for so many years, and that's a hopeless feeling. It is such a hopeless, like, desperate feeling, being homeless, especially when you got Bubba with you. Like, I remember that feeling of like that pit, like in the pit of my stomach, just a yuck feeling, like rocking up to someone's house because I don't have anywhere else to go. And being there knowing that they don't want you there, that's a yuck feeling. But where else do I have to go? Hated that. And finally, like, I was like, our own place. Yes. And I just didn't want to wreck it. Did not want to blow this. Didn't want to go there using. And so Logan House were like, yep, you've got a bed. I think it was 2 weeks away. So my friend that I had living with us, Sarah, her and I were like loading up the Range Rover with my belongings. Most of my stuff was in a storage shed from when my sister sold the house, that my boyfriend like got a storage shed and put it all in it. I rang the storage company and I told him a bit of the story. And so I said, can you not communicate with him? Communicate with me. Like, it's my stuff. I want to get out of here. They were like, yeah, sweet. All right. So they were kosher. They didn't say anything. He did notice my things starting to like where's your stuff getting to? Yeah. And we were just doing trips to this place, you know, and met the removalist company there, and they got all my other belongings in. And like I was using in there for like 2 nights until it was time to go to rehab. Anyways, I drove this Mercedes to the rehab, left it in the car park, rang up old mate, and I said, where the fuck are you? I said, I'm at rehab. You can send someone to pick your car up. I'm not doing this anymore. I can't do this anymore. Like, I just can't. He's like, all right. And I just hung up. You know, I blocked him for a little while. I stayed for probably 2 weeks. That's all I stayed. All I really needed was just that.
Yeah.
Just
separation.
that to be able to break away. Yeah. You know, and then I left rehab, and I had an old car sitting back at my unit, like a shitty old car, which I was too embarrassed to drive when I was living this luxurious cocaine and whatever lifestyle. But gee, I was grateful for it. I left rehab and I went home, got my old car, and I drove straight to my sister's house, the one that's always been there for me. And I got there and she said, what are you doing here? I was like, oh, I left rehab. She was freaking like, why? And I'm like, because I don't need to do it. I went to an NA meeting that night, and I've just backed it up continuously.
So you've stayed sober since then?
Since then, yeah. Oh, sorry, tell a lie. If we are going by the NA,
which I think you do go by that.
Which I do go by. What do you mean? Which is total abstinence.
No drinking.
No drinking, no nothing. I didn't know that was a part of the gig, you know. And I won Post Malone concert tickets on Nova.
Yeah.
And I drove straight to my sister's house. I was like, you coming to Post Malone? Let's go. Yeah, I won tickets. And so we went. And obviously my sister she's never been about the drug life, never broken the law. Like, she's a perfect little citizen, you know, of the public. Yeah. And little, I mean, she's this tall, not even kidding. But so we grabbed a couple of drinks that night. Yeah. And I would have been nearly 30 days. And then I was sitting in a meeting like a few days after that. I was going to get my 30-day tag. And I listened. I was really listening to somebody share, and they mentioned about alcohol, and it just clicked for me, like, I'm not even meant to drink, and I have drank. And so when it came, like, my face just dropped, and like my friends that were in that meeting with me that night, to this day, still say, like, you could just see that something had dropped for me. And I was devastated, absolutely devastated. But when I got asked to share, I said, I owned it then and there. Like there was nothing in me that was like, I'm going to hide this. There's no way I'm resetting my clean time. I owned it. I moved on. Haven't touched a drop of alcohol. Haven't touched a substance since. So that was 2 years and 10 days ago.
10 days ago.
Yeah.
Cool. So you restarted your countdown from that day?
Yes.
It's hard.
I was so dirty. I was devastated. I cried. I was crying my eyes out. But it is what it is, And if I wanted to be honest in all my affairs and honest with myself and others about my recovery, what else would I have tried to hide or thought I could get away with if I made the decision to be dishonest about that in that moment?
I had a similar thing when I was in detox. I was on Bupe and I counted those days until and I knew, but I heard the same thing. But right up until 300 days or 330 days, I was still counting those as clean time.
Clean days,
I had to give up. 4 days, so I had to put my count back 4 days. But for the exact same reason, there was no way I could go into 12 months declaring those extra 4 days.
Yeah.
I'd become very strict on that whole total abstinence model.
Yeah. Well, my relapse in the previous recovery, I didn't relapse straight away on drugs. I picked up alcohol on my birthday. And my sister had come over and we had, I bought a bottle of vodka. I'd had this office job that I got that I was totally not qualified for. And, I'd never really had a job before in my life other than McDonald's when I was a teenager. Yeah. And I got this office job and I'd been working in about a month, maybe a month and a half, 2 months. And I got fired on my work from home day. I got fired on that day and it was my birthday and it would have been my first clean birthday in goodness knows how long. And in my head, I feel like a relapse was something clicked. Anyways, I went to one of those smash rooms to smash some shit up, some TVs and stuff. Yeah. I thought that'll blow some steam off. And then I got my mate to give me a lift home. And I stopped at the bottle and I bought a bottle of vodka. And I'm other than when I was when my dad first passed away, alcohol was never, I used to have to force myself to drink back then to get drunk. Yeah. I've never been the type to drink and be oh, that's a good sip. Yeah, it's just not really a thing for me. Anyways, I bought a big bottle of vodka and my sister came over. We had a birthday cake and Chinese for dinner because that's a family tradition, going back to when my dad was alive, it was Chinese at the Hinghua in Dubbo, the whole family would do it. Anyway, she brought over some Chinese food and I'd already had a couple before she got there and we had one together and then they left. And she's don't do anything silly tonight or whatever. Sure, I didn't think I was going to. And then I got through that bottle and rang a couple of people. Kerry Ann and I abused Kerry Ann over the phone. Kerry Ann. Yeah, she was my bestie. We'd had a falling out. Back in addiction and then we became good again. And, she's in recovery now, 3 years clean. Great. She's doing amazing, absolutely amazing. But I rang her to give her a piece of my mind and, she just let me talk, but I was, yeah, Kerry Ann, we only spoke about this the other day, but Kerry Ann said she knew that there was something bad was going to come from that. She could just tell, there was something had just clicked. Anyways, I'd called an Uber up at about 1 or 2 in the morning and off I went over to my old stomping ground and I picked up. If I hadn't have drank, I probably would not have gone and used. And that for me is
enough evidence.
That's enough evidence, and also
it doesn't work for you.
Does not work for me. And it's also enough devastation in that the next day that I'd lost my clean time. That I was so devastated. And even though I didn't put it down straight away, I felt keeping it a secret from my sister kept me really sick for a while because I wanted to post it on my Facebook. I'd been very open and honest about my recovery journey. I was really proud of it. I also wanted to be just as open and honest about my relapse, but I promised my mum I wouldn't. And I just should have. I went to my other sister's house the very next morning and I rocked up there and she opened the door. Like I caught a bus really, really early in the morning. And when she opened the door, I was just standing there and she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I need to tell you something. And I was just so much guilt and shame. And I told her and she just hugged me. She's like, it's okay. And that's the way she's always been with me. But like I couldn't say anything I could have made that choice to do that, but I didn't. I wanted to honor my mum and keep the secret, but it kept me really, really sick. Really sick. Secrets keep you sick. I believe that. But that devastation in this recovery, I never, ever want to feel that devastation again of having lost my clean time and the shame and the guilt and the just that I failed myself. And, that's why I like to keep myself accountable. It's why I recover out loud. I post my recovery all.
Yeah, you do.
I do.
Yeah, you love sharing. And that's one of the things I really love about you. You've got this really, you like to celebrate everything in your life.
Absolutely.
You let everybody know.
Yeah. I've never been here before.
Yeah.
I've never been this clean.
Yes.
Ever, other than before I ever picked up.
Yeah.
But I've never in my life been this clean from a substance. And it's like, wow. And like life is starting to get really cool. Like I gave myself this past 2 years to just do recovery. That's it. I did attempt trying to do some sort of studies. It was too much for me at the time.
Yeah.
But I'm starting TAFE next year for my, excuse me, did you hear that burp? Or you wouldn't have. Oh yeah, that was one there. Please cut that out. Oh God, I laughed and burped at the same time. So I'm starting TAFE next year. Well, it is next month. Next year is next month.
Shit.
Wow.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm starting TAFE face-to-face learning, which my little ADHD self would just get right amongst that, rather than being left to my own devices, for my Cert 3 in community services, because I want to be in rehabs and helping people.
So good at that.
I feel like I would do great in that space.
Yeah. You're a big supporter of other people too, and I've certainly felt it from you, over the time. It's I love, we've had many discussions around that. Tell me some other milestones and other wonderful things that you've achieved in the last 2 years.
Nothing like boom, big, like, but like that's the thing, like, I would like to have a slow and painful recovery. Have you heard that where people say, I wish you a slow and painful recovery?
I think it's, two parts there, but I wish you a slow recovery, and sometimes it might be painful, but I don't think, I don't think it needs to be both. Well, I guess we experience a lot of pain.
We do, because we're feeling like I've had to grieve like my dad and my son's dad years and years after they've gone, because these drugs have worn off, and it's like, boom, feel that. Us, feel that. And it's like we have no choice but to feel it. When like my go-to would have been absolutely not. I will refuse to. I will numb the shit out of this and avoid it, run from it, numb it, pretend it's not, whereas we come into recovery and it's like raw. But I think one of the biggest things for me is like I've got 2 daughters, that I had in the mix of all that mess. It's like and I've built a relationship with them that is beautiful. They think I'm great.
Yeah. I think I met both your daughters when
have.
I dropped you, not only just out the window of the car window, when I dropped you home.
They are just remarkable.
Yeah, beautiful
human beings.
And I met Ocean.
Yeah.
As well.
And Ocean is just in a league of his own.
Yeah, he's a legend.
He's a cool kid.
So you've got your family.
I've got my family, like those girls, like they don't remember. Like I've had conversations with them, they don't remember things that I remember, things that I really like beat myself up over, you know, like they just don't remember. They just think I'm great, you know, this cool mom. And I really put a lot of effort into showing up for them today. Like I want them to know that I'm here and I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. You need me, I'm going to show up. There's nothing that's going to stop me from showing up. That's a huge milestone for me. And my son, the school that he's at, like he's in grade 1. I've never been high while he's at this school, ever. That is also a big thing for me, because I used to like rock up to his like daycare and stuff like that, either late or forgot shit or just messy, you know. And it's cool. Like last night when you and I were at Hungry Jack's, I got a message from one of my son's daycare workers, and she said, "Hey, I saw a video of you on Facebook," and I think it's the one that you did for my 2 years.
Yeah.
She said, "I often think of you and little man." She said, "I'm real proud of you."
Yeah.
And that's cool. That stuff's really cool. She's like, "I always knew you could do it."
And that's that thing about celebrating out loud, you know? It's a recovery out loud.
Yeah. Like heaps of my friends have come into recovery.
Yeah.
Or they've reached out to ask me like, what do you do? Like how did you do it? Like, or to let me know like, hey, guess what? I'm going to rehab. Or hey, guess what? I'm doing this. And thanks for inspiring me. And I love that, you know, because like come from a rough scene, like, and a scene that like at one point it felt impossible. Like recovery did not seem possible for me. It seemed like there was so many steps, like it just seemed so far out of reach.
It brings us back to the beginning where we talked about you being a little angel growing up as a little angel, but now then it didn't turn out that way.
Did not turn out that way.
If you've been listening, if you thought Stacey was an angel, I guess. Stacey, you also, I believe you've been punching on, like in there's a little, you've been, you won a fight.
My God.
Well,
I wouldn't say professional because I'm not a professional fighter.
Like legit, it's not a street fight.
It's not a street fight, no.
Tell me about it.
So it is, I fought in the 1 round wars.
I remember watching this, it was so exciting. But
It was the best. So 1 round wars, it's an event that was created by Ryan Brown.
Ryan.
Yeah, good on you, Ryan. It's for a great cause. It's a charity event, and it's to raise awareness around men's mental health and suicide and stuff like that. With having my dad and my son's dad, and it was about 6 days before this event, and I was like, do you know what? I'm going to do this. You know, I feel like I can hold my own. Like I've had street fights, you know, been hit by plenty of ex-boyfriends and girlfriends.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to fight for my dad, and I'm going to fight for Ocean's dad, you know. I'm going to fight for Jakapura, which is somebody else that was really dear to me, my daughter's brother from a different relationship, who also took his life. I'm like, I'm going to do this. Anyway, so 6 days before, I did one training session with Jimmy Coleman, who's also an epic fighter. Yeah. And then we were on. So I went down there by myself and got in the ring, and it was so good.
How many people were watching?
It was live streamed on Live Combat Sports. You could live stream it.
So there would have been thousands there.
So many people. I had so many people that just I knew that were watching, you know, and it was a sold out show.
Yeah.
Like there was people all around the pit. Like it was just such a vibe. And there's another one coming up on the 12th of December, Sunshine Coast.
So hang on, just with that one, you won.
I did win.
You had those big gloves on, those white gloves, were they?
I can't remember.
Yeah, they were. And you just, I seen you go, mate. It was so good.
It was great.
And now when you said who you done it for, I can imagine you were unstoppable. Like I can just imagine you were unbeatable. You know, for why you're doing this. You know.
Yeah, I hope I win the next fight.
So you got another one coming up.
Another one coming up. Yeah, on the 12th of December,
Sweet.
Sunshine Coast at the station. Yeah, this next event is going to be phenomenal. Ryan has just gone above and beyond to like make this like a real show. And it's all for a great cause. You know, Ryan's doing it for a really good cause. And like just for men to be able to know that like, and women, you know, but for men to know that there's such a stigma around men like having to be tough and, you know, you bottle up your emotions and this and that, like, and it shouldn't be that way. We're losing a lot of men, a lot of good men because they feel like they can't talk about what's going on for them. So, yeah, I'll fight for that any day.
Yeah, I hope that, you know, even us jumping on here and, you know, all the work that I do gives men permission to speak up more, you know, like
Right.
I think it's changing. I think the culture is definitely changing.
I hope so. It needs to.
Yeah, people are talking out more
Yeah.
and more, you know. It's more often I'm hearing from men pouring their hearts out about their children or whatever the fuck is going on. You know?
Well, if my dad had have felt like he could have
spoken up.
I might not even be sitting here with you today. You know, if I had went that way, goodness knows, like, but, and my son's dad, like my little boy is growing up without a dad because it all got too much. And like many people, families have just had, it's crazy and it needs to change.
Well, you certainly have had a colourful past, Stacey, and you are absolutely, where's the future? Like, do you have any big, I know you spoke about your Certificate 3 community services. You want to start to give back?
I want to give back. Yeah, definitely.
Any other big goals on the?
I don't know. You know, I don't have huge plans. I think for me, like, just to be stable and happy and like to find a career and just those kind of things that I once upon a time until just recently didn't think were achievable for me. Like there's no way this fucking junkie, you know, no hoping. That's because I felt that to my core. And even sometimes I have this little voice that's like, oh shit, you can't do this. Like you won't be able to do this. Like, but I'm actually starting to like change that in my head. Like I can. Like I've stayed clean for this long. Like anything's possible. So just to like be a good mom and to be able to get in the rehab space and be able to, I want to be like a John was to me to somebody else and make that difference in someone's life.
You are inspirational.
Thank you. So yeah.
They come for you to see where you come from. And I know, like, after spending some time with you and hearing, you know, the story about your dad, and especially today in this conversation, I can understand that so many things were going against you, but against all odds, you've managed to make that final decision where you dumped the dealer's car off out the front. You said, I've had enough.
I've had enough. Yep. Done. No more.
Is there anyone else in your journey that you want to give a shout out to before we wrap it up?
Definitely Alicia.
Who's Alicia?
My sister. She's my little rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Through thick and thin, good and bad, she's just there. And my sponsor.
Oh, yeah. Your sponsor. She's helped guide you along the way.
She is a phenomenal human being. Yeah, it took me a few to find like the right one for me, but yeah, she's just amazing. I'm not going to mention her name just because of like the anonymity stuff, but she knows who she is, and yeah,
absolutely wonderful.
And my babies, my beautiful girls, Lyric and Yilla, and yeah,
Lyric and Yilla and Ocean.
Yeah, and my big boy Damari. Yeah. And I hope Damari's on his own journey at the moment. And I hope that me setting this example and doing what I'm doing that he can do this too. That's all I really want to say about that.
How do you feel after sharing your story today?
Good.
Yeah, you proud of yourself?
Yeah.
You should be proud.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stacey. And I just want to say a very special thank you to our sponsors of A Colourful Past podcast, you know, Mick and Nadia from Realign Rehabilitation Centre. Thank you so much for believing in me and giving me the opportunity to share my stories further and wider with our audience. And if you are looking for treatment. Rehab was a big part of my story too. You know, like I could not have done this without rehab. So if anyone's interested in finding out more information about Rewire Realign, they're located in Bundoora in Melbourne. The link will be in the bio. And also I work, and gym is a big part of my overall wellness. I've got another sponsor by the name of Growth Gyms there up in Bundaberg, and they are like a mental health based gymnasium that you know, supports people both in the physical and mental states, and it's so important. And finally, you know, I have another sponsor who lost her brother, and we've been talking about a lot of loss here today. You know, so this podcast has been dedicated in the loving memory of all of our lost brothers and sisters to addiction and mental health. Absolutely. So on that note, Stacey, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Again. Thank you guys. We'll see you next week.